The hotel lobby glittered with luxury, chandeliers sparkling, marble floors shining. But in the middle of that perfection, one cruel moment changed everything. A billionaire businessman, known for his arrogance, raised his hand and slapped a black janitor across the face, in front of everyone. She didn't fight back. She just stood there, silent, her eyes steady as whispers filled the room. Cameras flashed, guests gasped, and within minutes the clip went viral. But what no one knew, not even him, was that this so-called janitor wasn't who she appeared to be, and soon his empire would crumble. Wait a second. Tell us where you're watching from in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories like this. Earlier that morning, the woman everyone saw as a simple cleaner, her name was Ava Johnson, started her shift like any other. Dressed in her faded uniform, pushing her mop and bucket, she crept through the hotel's grand halls. To most guests, she was invisible, just another worker in the background. But behind her calm eyes was a mind sharper than anyone could imagine. Ava wasn't just any employee. For months, she had been undercover, working on a classified operation. Her mission: gather evidence on a wealthy businessman named Victor Harlan, suspected of laundering money through high-end properties while funding hate-based organizations overseas. The agency needed someone who would go unnoticed, someone who could blend in thoroughly. Ava fit the role perfectly. But what she didn't expect was that the man she was investigating would make the fatal mistake of underestimating her humanity and humiliating her in public. It happened that afternoon. The hotel's lobby was packed with guests attending an elite investor summit. Victor Harlan had arrived in his designer suit, surrounded by reporters and assistants. He was the kind of man who enjoyed being admired, loud, proud, untouchable. As Ava quietly cleaned near the reception desk, Victor's assistant accidentally spilled coffee on his expensive shoes. He turned in anger, his temper flaring, and instead of scolding his assistant, his eyes landed on Ava. "Do your job," he barked, tossing the empty cup toward her feet. The crowd froze. Ava knelt, silently wiping the spill, her hands trembling, not from fear, but from restraint. Victor smirked, towering over her, basking in the silence. Then came the slap. The sound echoed across the marble floor. Gasps filled the room. The cameras of onlookers rose instantly. Ava looked up, tears forming, but her face remained calm. She whispered only 3 words: "You'll regret this." Within hours, the video was everywhere. "Racist millionaire assaults janitor," headlines blared across social media. Victor laughed it off, saying it was fake outrage, an overreaction. But that night, his world began to shift. His accounts were frozen, business partners pulled out, and soon federal agents knocked on his door. He had no idea that the woman he had humiliated was the one who had just brought him down. 3 days later, the FBI raided Victor's luxury penthouse. As he was handcuffed, confusion flooded his face. "This is a mistake!" he shouted. Agents surrounded him, presenting files, recordings, and evidence linking him to multiple international crimes, all traced through the very hotel he owned. Then, through the crowd of officers, Ava appeared. No uniform, no mop, just a black suit and a CIA badge hanging from her neck. Victor's jaw dropped. The janitor he slapped was now standing before him as Special Agent Ava Johnson, lead investigator of the case. Their eyes met, and for the first time, his arrogance vanished. He stammered, trying to speak, but she said, "You judged me by my skin and my uniform. That was your first mistake." He was led away, speechless, as reporters shouted questions at him. The same cameras that once filmed his cruelty now captured his downfall. Poetic justice unfolding in real time. The footage of Victor's arrest went viral worldwide. People watched, shared and applauded the irony, how a powerful man's racism became the key to his destruction. But for Ava, it wasn't about revenge. It was about justice, not just for herself, but for every person who had ever been looked down upon for their color, job, or background. She returned to her office quietly, placing the janitor's badge she'd worn for months on her desk. It wasn't just a disguise. It had become a reminder. Power doesn't always wear a suit. Sometimes it holds a mop. As she looked out the window, city lights glowing below, she thought of how many victors still walked free, hidden behind wealth and privilege. The fundamental mission, she realized, wasn't over yet, because every time racism is ignored, another story like hers begins. So where are you watching from? Take care.